All right, let's go ahead and get started with this mermaid scale makeup look. So I'm going to be starting with a Graftobian modeling wax. Now this stuff is awesome, but it is a little difficult to work with. And by that I just mean it's kind of sticky and gets pretty messy and all over the place. So I do end up adding just a little bit of pure almond oil to it to make it a little bit more manageable to work with. And I'm just going ahead and mixing that up. I'm actually using a nail file. I couldn't find my little spatula, so we make do with what we have. So I'm gonna go ahead and just put that on the area where I want the scales to be. I do have a decent sized scar on my knee, as you can see, so I thought it would be kind of cool to have the exposed skin coming out of that. So this does take a little bit of time and patience, but as long as you keep blending, you will get it to where you want it to be. So I'm using my fingers because I'm a little bit messy, but go ahead and use a spatula if you don't want to get your fingers all gross. Now it's time to make the edges of the scales, which is where the skin is kind of going to be popping up. So I'm just going ahead and rolling the modeling wax into some little wormy like pieces and putting them together and placing them on the skin. Don't get frustrated at this point if they are kind of hard to stick. You just have to be patient and work with it and continue wiping your fingers off so they don't get too sticky and keep pulling up the wax. I do recommend, if you are doing this look and then going out with it, like for Halloween, you might want to take a spirit gum or even an eyelash glue and apply that first as kind of a glue base, and that's going to make it stick a lot easier. I wasn't really going out with it. I was just taking pictures and doing this video, so it was okay if it didn't really stick. But again, you always have the option of using one of those glues underneath to really bond it to your skin. So now that we have a nice perimeter, I'm going back in with my nail file spatula and just blending out this wax so it looks like it blends naturally into my actual skin. Again, this can be a bit of a process, but just be patient with it and work kind of slowly, and you will get it to where you want it to be. So now that we have the edges all set, I went ahead and took some of this NYX Illuminating Primer as well as a NYX, I think it's a liquid highlighter, and I mixed those two together and just set them on top of the wax that we put as our base, and this is going to make it nice and shiny. Now I'm taking my Carly Bible palette, and you can really use literally whatever eyeshadows you have on hand. I am taking a fluffy brush, and I'm just taking, I think it was like a purpley shade with a darker brown shade, and mixing those together and using them on the perimeter to kind of set the shadow, and this is going to give your scales a lot of nice dimension. I do want to say I ended up ruining these shadows, so if you have eyeshadows that you don't really care about too much, I would recommend using those. So this is my favorite part, and it is carving out those scales. I'm going in again with my nail file and just carving out kind of crescent moon shapes. Now this is cool because you can really play with it however you'd like. You can do smaller ones, you can do kind of a gradient of large to small. The options are really endless. I just kind of went with the flow, as I do with most things, and yeah. So I just applied some NYX face and body glitter. I love these. They are so awesome, and in my opinion, you can never have enough glitter on a certain look. So go ahead and use whatever you'd like. I did end up taking some powdered eyeshadow again from the Carly Bible palette and playing with that a little bit. I don't think it made a huge difference, but again, the options are endless. You can use whatever eyeshadows, liquid, powder, highlighters you have and just play around with them. Here's a darker glitter from NYX that I just put around the border, again, emphasizing the shadow a little bit and giving it more of a glittery look. Here I'm taking my NYX Oil Control Foundation and a sponge. You can take whatever foundation would match your leg, and I'm just blotting around the area to kind of mute out any leftover wax residue that's on the leg and just blend everything in seamlessly and make it look a lot more natural. Because this is a natural look that we're going for, right? So I ended up taking a NYX metallic liquid lipstick on a sponge and playing around with that. I didn't really have a plan at this point. I just kind of enjoyed taking what I have and seeing what I can do with it. I did do another look similar to this where I used like a blue-black pigment on the outside and it looked more like bruising, and that looked really, really awesome as well. So feel free to experiment. I ended up liking how this looked in the end. Now we get to add the fun stuff, which is these little starfishes that are so cute. I found these at Michael's, and I am just taking some eyelash glue and simply putting them wherever. Feel free to use your creative expression and just put these starfish wherever you see fit. I do go in right after as well with some little gems from Michael's, and those were really cool because I feel like they ended up looking like barnacles, and I really enjoyed that. I tried to put them in like little clusters around the scales. So yeah, just have fun with it. So here is what my mermaid scales look like as a final product. I really hope you enjoyed watching this and got something out of it. Feel free to ask me any questions. I would be happy to answer them. I know I said it a million times, but I feel like this has so many options as far as colors and sizes and accessories go. You can do it on different parts of your body. It would be really cool all over. So yeah, just have fun with it, and thank you so much. I appreciate it. Have a good one. Bye-bye.